listening to the Positive Professional Podcast with your host, me, Tracy Yvonne. This podcast is a weekly conversation about all things mental health, self-care, and wellness. And there'll be sprinkles of positivity, mindfulness, and guided meditations. Welcome back to Season 6, Episode 13. Today I'm diving into a term that you may not hear often, but you may feel all too well. Anhedonia. What is it, and how often does it show up in everyday life? And most importantly, what we can do about it. Whether you're a clinician, a caretaker, or someone simply trying to better understand themselves, this episode is for you. So let's take a deep breath, ground ourselves, and let's get into it. Let's start with the clear definition. Anhedonia is the inability to feel pleasure. It's one of the core symptoms of depression, but it also appears in other mental health conditions, including PTSD, schizophrenia, substance use disorders, and sometimes even after periods of extreme stress or trauma. There are two main types. Social anhedonia is disinterest in social interactions, including loss of pleasure in friendships or romantic relationships. Physical anhedonia is loss of pleasure in physical experiences like eating your favorite food, listening to music, or intimacy. Here's the thing. It's more than just feeling off. This isn't a funk that clears up after a good weekend. Anhedonia can make someone feel numb, disconnected from joy, and alienated from their own life. People might say, I used to love painting. Now I don't feel anything when I do it. My friends invite me out, and I just feel empty or uninterested. Even when something good happens, I don't react the way I used to. It's a quiet, invisible kind of suffering that's often misunderstood. Now let's talk about why it happens. Anhedonia is linked to disruptions in the brain's reward system, particularly with the neurotransmitter dopamine, which plays a critical role in motivation, pleasure, and reinforcement learning. Chronic stress, trauma, and long-standing depression can literally rewire these pathways, making it difficult for the brain to respond to pleasurable stimuli. Think of it like this. Your brain's reward antenna stops picking up the signal. Even when something good happens, your internal receiver doesn't catch it. And that's not laziness, it's neurochemical. Other contributing factors include inflammation in the body and the brain, hormonal imbalances, isolation or prolonged stress, substance withdrawal, and burnout and compassion fatigue. It's important to understand anhedonia is a symptom, not a flaw. Imagine living in a world where everything is muted, where the things that you used to love, art, music, relationships feel distant, where smiles feel forced and laughter feels hollow. This is what many people with anhedonia experience. Emotionally, it often leads to guilt. Why can't I enjoy my life? Shame. People would kill to have what I have, and I feel nothing. And isolation. No one gets it. And this can create a vicious cycle. You don't stop doing things because they don't feel rewarding, and your brain receives even less stimulation, which deepens the emotional flatness. As a clinician or a support person, validating this experience is critical. Telling someone, just try harder or you'll feel better if you get out more, often backfires. But I'm going to share more in the next segment. let's talk about hope and healing. Recovery from anhedonia isn't instant, but it is possible. And here are some practical and therapeutic strategies. The first one is to start small and go slow. Even if joy feels absent, behavioral activation can still work. Start with simple, low-effort tasks that were once pleasurable, even if they feel meh. The action precedes the emotion in this case. For example, take a short walk, maybe water some plants, or listen to a nostalgic playlist. The next one is routine over motivation. When joy is missing, structure can be your lifeline. Rely on routines to carry you through. Don't wait for motivation, as it may not come. Do it anyway, but gently. Mindfulness-based approaches. Mindfulness can help people observe their emotional state without judgment. Even the absence of emotion becomes something that we can notice rather than resist. CBT and ACT. Cognitive behavioral therapy helps challenge distorted thoughts like, I'll never feel happy again. Acceptance and commitment therapy teaches us to live with discomfort of numbness without letting it dominate our values or behavior. Somatic interventions. Reconnecting with the body through yoga, breathwork, or even cold showers can help stimulate dominant neural pathways and bring awareness back into the sensory experience. Medication. Sometimes anhedonia needs medical support, and always consult with your doctor or prescribing professional. And the last one is connection. Even when social joy is absent, being around others, even silently, can support emotional healing. Peer support groups, therapy, or simply sitting in shared spaces can make a difference. And let's normalize what this might look like day to day. Anhedonia doesn't always look like deep depression. It may look like canceling plans without knowing why, eating out of habit, not enjoyment, not laughing at your favorite show, feeling disconnected in relationships, and a sudden loss of interest in sex or intimacy. These aren't character flaws. They are red flags worth paying attention to. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. If you're supporting someone experience this, remember the most powerful thing that you can offer is presence without pressure. You don't need to wait until you hit rock bottom. Seek professional help if the emotional numbness lasts for more than 2 weeks. Daily functioning is impaired, and there are thoughts of self-harm, hopelessness, or suicide. Therapy, support groups, and a psychiatric evaluation. These are not signs of weakness, but acts of strength. There is no shame in needing help to find joy again. As I wrap up, I want to leave you with some affirmations, and you can say them out loud, write them down, or just hold them in your heart. I am not broken. I am healing. My emotions may feel distant, but I am still here. Pleasure can return. This is not forever. I honor my process, even when it's quiet. I am worthy of support, joy, and peace. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, colleague, or maybe even a client who might need it. Until next time, be kind to yourself and take gentle steps forward. Thanks for listening and supporting this podcast. And make sure you're clicking the like and subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. stay safe, be well, and don't forget to be the best version of you.